Hi guys, so we have been in North Queensland for a while. We're getting ready to travel north, so we have been a little bit busy in the last few weeks. That's why today we just decided to do a simple Q&A. We asked you some questions on Instagram, so we have those questions, and we also added in some questions that we always get from family, friends and people we meet during our travels.
We're going to try and do this video pretty quickly because right now we're in North Queensland, it's very hot and we don't have an aircon on because it's too loud. So let's get into it.
First question from Instagram was, have you done a bus tour? That will be cool to see. So we did do a bus tour. It was our first video ever, so it's not very good, bear with us. But we changed a lot of things in the bus since then. We are planning to remake the floor in the next few months, and we would love to film a bus tour after that.
We might do the bathroom as well, see how we go, see how much time we have and how much money we have as well.
We started renovating the bus while we were not traveling, then we started traveling again and the renovation got put on hold. So we want to finish a few things before showing you guys the complete setup.
Alright, next question is regarding our water storage, how much fresh water we have and how long does it usually last. Okay, so we have around 270 litres of fresh drinking water that's available when our tanks are full. We have 90 litres of grey water tank, which is where all of our wastewater runs into, and that is pretty much it for water. That's how much water we can live on, and if we ration ourselves, if we're careful, we can generally make that last about 4 or 5 days, maybe up to a week, depending on how frequent we shower. But in this weather, 4 days, 5 days is.
Next question is, it looks similar to living on an Arab boat. Have you been on an Arab boat before? So yes, I actually traveled from Indonesia to Darwin in a 12 meters catamaran, which is, not much bigger than this bus.
Arrowboat.
Hey?
What's an arrowboat?
An Arab boat.
A narrow boat. I thought you said arrowboat. I've never been on an arrowboat before.
Stop it. It's hot. Anyway, yeah. Yes, I think it's very similar living. I think in boats the toilet setup and the shower setup is actually much better than what we have in a bus. Stop laughing!
How do they go forward? Do they
Stop.
get launched? There's a big slingshot that just launches. Alright, next. Are you finished?
Yeah.
Woof, it's hot up here. Next question is regarding our solar setup. What kind of solar we have and how long can we stay off grid. So we have 6 panels on the roof for when we're not plugged into power. They feed down to 4 batteries in our solar compartment. I've forgotten how much wattage and amperage they put down to the batteries. So I'll check the batteries later and figure out the exact specifications. I'll check the panels as well. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But generally in very good weather we can live off them indefinitely. We don't have to plug in or start the generator. In cloudy weather it will last a day or two and then we will have to start the generator to give the batteries a top up. But that's generally it.
Next question is, aren't you afraid of someone entering in the bus while you are sleeping? No, we are not, and I will show you why. Come here, come here. This little annoying fluffy thing, she goes mad if someone... Oh, hello baby. If someone knocks at our door, someone she doesn't know, she starts barking, she starts showing her teeth. She looks cute, but she can be scary. I know it doesn't look like it now. Hey circus dog, oh, that's so cute. So yeah, we have a guard dog. She loves people, but she doesn't like strangers. We heard that in the campsite in which we are now, some people enter in a cabin, which is a bit scary, but we feel quite safe with this annoying thing. So if you are scared of someone entering your vehicle or your bus, just get a dog. The bigger the better.
Next question is quite a good one. It's what do we do with our time when we're on the road, when we're travelling? So obviously when we're not working we have quite a bit of free time. But that's the thing, when we're not working. Recently we've been working pretty flat out. We've been working very long weeks, 50, 60-hour work weeks, which hasn't been much fun. But when we're not working, we read, what do? We go travelling, we check out the sights.
We go see new places.
If the weather's pretty poor, we stay at home and watch a movie.
We learn new things. Yeah,
there's very little free time that we're just sitting there bored. We try and find things to do every day. Try and learn new things as well. If you're not learning, you're dying. So
honestly, we could stop working now and don't work anymore for the rest of our lives if we could afford it, and always have things to do, places to visit, new things to learn. We are very curious, excited about life, make new friends, talk to people. There are a lot of things to do on the road, and really what you do at home are the same thing that you can do on the road. It's just the space is smaller, but it doesn't make much difference. Another question is, how do you do laundry? So we don't have a washing machine in the bus. Some people do actually. I think it's very cool, but we don't. We wouldn't even know where to put it, honestly. We just go in the laundromat. We pay it's usually $4 or $5 for a load, and we were using the dryer, but we stopped using the dryer because it was ruining our clothes. So now we just have a little clothes hanger, and we hang our clothes outside the bus when it's sunny.
Yeah, most towns will have a laundromat. Even some of the small towns, you wouldn't think they will have a laundromat, and if they don't, there will be one within 50 or 100 kilometers, so it's not that bad. Next question is it hard to drive or park or find places to stay in such a big bus?
That's a good
sometimes.
question.
Sometimes it is. I've been in places where I probably shouldn't have been able to fit the bus, and I've sort of wedged it in anyway. There might be a few more scratches on the walls and the roof because of it, but I got it in, basically. Is it hard to drive? It can be tricky to drive in some small pokey areas, in some small pokey towns. There's been a few times where I've driven down the wrong street, it's been a dead end, and I've had to try and do a 7-point turn to get around. That hasn't been much fun. Places to park. If we're travelling through a city or a town, we can usually park at a service station or a truck stop. We can't really take the bus shopping, for example, because there's no place to park the bus. But by then we're usually parked up at a campsite, and we have the little vehicle behind us to travel around in anyway. So yeah, it can be difficult to drive, but if you were just sitting on the highway, it's dead easy.
We always meet people who ask us, how did you park in that little spot? And they are very impressed with Aaron's parking skills.
They wouldn't be very impressed if they saw the scratches.
Well, I wouldn't be able to park this thing. I struggle parking my little car.
But yeah, it's not too bad. The next question is a bit of a two-part question. It goes, when do you think you'll finish travelling, and what do you think you'll do once you're finished travelling?
We get this question all the time, and it's honestly a little bit annoying because people assume that we will finish traveling one day and we will get bored of traveling and that this life is not sustainable in the long term. But we don't have any plan to stop. We are planning to do all the trip around Australia with this bus, obviously, and then we are thinking long term. We're thinking about going to travel in a smaller vehicle in Europe, do the same thing. Possibly do the same thing in Canada, US, South America. We don't know, but yeah, the plan is to keep traveling long term. And now we can work on the road, which is awesome. And yeah, we don't really have plans to stop. Life is one. We only have one life. We want to travel. We don't have any plans to have a family or to buy a house for now, and probably ever.
There we go.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Yeah, never say never. My plan though, if we don't know, well, we probably don't want kids, but if one day we will have kids, the plan is to keep traveling. I'm definitely not going to stop if one day we will ever have kids.
I already have one.
Yeah, Aaron doesn't want kids.
I already got one. She's fluffy and cute. I don't like making plans. I don't even like making plans 2 days ahead, so...
Yeah.
I like to live life as it comes, and that's my philosophy, so...
Which makes things a bit hard for me, because I like planning ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, no plans, just living life and see how it goes.
But yeah, we have no intention to stop traveling as for now.
Speaking of children and my little fur child here, we get asked a lot, how does a dog go while we're traveling? How does she travel and how well does she go? Well,
noisily,
yeah. She doesn't really like traveling in a car. So when we set up, we put her in the back of the little car and we set off, she barks up a storm for about 5 minutes. In the front of the bus, she's not too bad. She'll maybe have 3 or 4 seconds of barking and then she calms down a little bit. So she doesn't travel well in vehicles, which we can probably try and train out of her when I know how. If you know how to train a dog to travel better in a car, please let us know.
Please.
Yeah. But other than that, she travels quite well. When we get to a destination, she gets out, has a bit of a sniff, finds her own way, and after that, she's pretty good. She's pretty happy to travel wherever the bus is. The bus is her home, it's her territory. As long as the bus is around, she's fine. She doesn't stress out too much.
Unfortunately, in Australia, dogs can't enter national parks. The good thing is that we have a big bus, a big vehicle, which is almost 30 square meters. So we can leave her in the bus if we go to a national park for a day trip.
The good thing about this bus is that it's larger than most kennels. So if we were to put a dog in a kennel, this dog in a kennel, she wouldn't have as much room as she has now. So it's good to have this much space.
But if we happen to go in national parks for a longer period of times, we have been to Magnetic Island recently, which is not a national park, but it was a bit tricky to take the dog with us. So we left her with a dog sitter, which we found on the website Medpaw in Townsville. She had a great time our dog sitter was amazing. We absolutely recommend the service. It was quite cheap. I think we spent $25 a night. And so there is always an option if you want to go somewhere for a couple of days and you can't take your dog with you.
Okay, our next question is the fuel consumption in our bus. How much fuel do we use and how far does it get us? We get roughly 2.5 to 3 kilometers per litre of diesel fuel. So if we travel, let's say we're on the highway and we're traveling 300 kilometers, that will use 100 litres of diesel. And today's price is at $2.20 a litre. That gives you $220 for those 300 kilometers.
Which is a lot.
It's a big heavy vehicle, not very aerodynamic, it doesn't go very fast, so it chews a bit of fuel.
The reason why we picked a big bus instead of a caravan that would use much less fuel is actually because when we bought the bus it was way less expensive than a nice, even a decent caravan.
Even a decent four-wheel drive. We got this bus at a bargain. It only cost us, I want to say about $21,000 roughly, give or take. And that was in 2019 we bought it.
So if we bought a caravan, we would have had to buy a big car, a four-wheel drive to tow it, because right now, if you saw my car in our last other videos is just a small Hyundai gets. Can't even tow. Yeah, a small trailer. So yeah, that's the reason why we decided to go with a bus. And we also thought about getting a Toyota Coaster because we are just two, we don't need much space. But believe it or not, a Toyota Coaster was much more expensive than the bus we bought.
Yeah, we found a really cheap bus, which is really good.
Another question we get asked so often is how we support ourselves on the road. We did a video about this not long ago, I will put it up here. But basically, Aaron, we just stopped in North Queensland, so Aaron could work in a farm for a few weeks. I do video editing, I work as a freelancer. And I have so much work that I just taught Aaron how to do it, so he can help me out. So I can enjoy my life a little bit as well and not just working. Aaron is very happy.
My happy face.
So hopefully from now on we will just be able to work as a freelancer and make money on the go. And hopefully one day this YouTube channel will take off. So please subscribe. This is a good moment to remind you to subscribe and like the video and leave us a comment. Speaking of, we're very hot. We can't wait to turn on this aircon. But if you have other questions, by any means, just please leave us a comment and we will answer you as fast as possible and possibly make another Q&A video.
Yep, and if you like this one, make sure you subscribe, give it a thumbs up.
I just said it.
Yeah, I know. I'll say it again. Say it again and again. Make sure you leave a like, leave a thumbs up, leave us a comment if we forgot anything, and we will see you in the next one.